If we were in class, I would tell you to like mark stuff up because the more physical you can get and like involved, the better. So if you need to stand up while you're reading because you fall asleep, then go stand up. If you need to print stuff out because it's helpful to have stuff in your hand, go do that. If you need to like fidget with a fork or a spoon, that's totally fine. If you need to find a pen and click it, nobody's gonna like be like, stop clicking that pen, unless you have a sibling that you're next to. All right, empathy can be taught. Let's keep on our close read. We may find it hard to empathize with some people, but that doesn't mean that we can't strengthen our empathy muscles, according to Reese. She suggests becoming more adept, meaning like more able, better, flexible, at perceiving others' emotions. Learning self-regulation techniques to help us not get overwhelmed by excessive emotional resonance. So sometimes we have a lot of feelings and we feel stuff and then we don't always know how to deal with all of those feelings. And so they're finding ways to encourage perspective when you encounter someone who's going through a hard time. So to that end, she has developed a program called Empathetics, and it has been taught to physicians, and it successfully improves their ability to read emotions, and their level of burnout has gone down, as well as patient satisfaction going up. So this is good news, as doctor-patient relationships seem to make a significant contribution to patient health. So let's figure out like what is she telling doctors to do that helps them have more satisfaction with their life and better connections with other people. So she uses the acronym EMPATHY to outline the steps of her program. That's her book if you want to read it. Eye contact. An appropriate level of eye contact makes people feel seen and it improves effective communication. That's why it's really frustrating for teachers right now to just see like circles with your initials. I know that you don't want to be on camera this whole time, but it's nice maybe to just do like a 5-second bye Nux at the camera. Because if you focus on someone's eyes at least long enough to gauge eye color and making sure you are face to face when communicating, it makes that person feel seen. So muscles and facial expressions. As humans, we often automatically mimic other people's expressions without even realizing it. By being able to identify others' feelings, often by distinctive facial muscle patterns and mirroring them, we can help communicate empathy. So the more that we're around people, if you're with someone and they smile a lot, you might see that you're smiling a lot. This is also why people in the same family tend to have similar vocal patterns and facial expressions. So like my sister and I, when we're on the phone, it's almost impossible to tell us apart. And we both have the same kind of like side chuckle, like that little thing I did. She does that too. Posture. Sitting in a slumped position can indicate a lack of interest, dejection. Oh, that's a great word. Or sadness. Sitting upright signals respect and confidence. By understanding what postures communicate, we can take a more open posture. That's face forward, legs and arms uncrossed, leaning towards someone to engage more open communication and trust. Now, if I'm talking to you like this, and then you're listening and you're like, yep, sure. This communicates I am not open to you. But this, I'm like, oh, tell me more. Yeah. So, affect. Learning to identify what another is feeling and naming it can help us better understand their behavior or the message behind their words. And tone. Because tone conveys over 38% of nonverbal emotional content of what a person communicates, it is a vital key to empathy, writes Reese. She suggests matching the volume and tone of the person you're talking to, and generally using a soothing tone to make someone feel heard. However, when a person is communicating outrage, moderating your tone rather than matching theirs is more appropriate. So somebody, comes in and they're like, why is the napkins not put away? It's better to just say, oh, I'll get to it, than why isn't the dishes done, and retaliate. That's called escalation. We want to be calm and soothing and understand people. Hearing. Too often, we don't truly listen to one another, possibly because of our preconceptions, like what we already think about the person, our snap judgments that we make, or simply being too distracted and stressed. Empathetic listening means you are asking questions that help people express what's really going on and listening without judgment. This is something that I'm trying really hard to work on, is asking better questions of people, asking open-ended questions instead of just saying like, how are you doing? Fine. Be like, what did you do yesterday? Oh, and now they can be more specific about what they did yesterday. And then if they tell me, I had to go to the hospital because of blah, 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 then I know they're probably not fine or they've got something else going on. Your response. Reese is not talking about what you'll say next, but how you resonate with the person you're talking to. So whether or not we're aware of it, we tend to sync up emotionally with people, and how well we do it plays a role in how much we understand and like them. This kind of comes back into place with your first impressions, and whether or not you see a person as good or bad in your initial your initial judgment, it makes a big difference. So empathy beyond care settings. How does this apply to us? Because we're not doctors. I'm not a doctor. While Reese has mostly focused on doctor-patient relationships, her book is a plea. She's begging you to look beyond healthcare and imagine a world where empathy is infused into everyday life. Even young children can read others' emotions and have a propensity to want to help people in distress, Reese points out. It means a tendency, a willingness, an eagerness. We could help them build on those skills through role modeling and giving them opportunities to flex their empathy muscles. How well parents understand their children's emotions, try to take their perspective, and affirm their worth is tied to how well they do later in life. So a kid was like, Mommy, look at what I did. And the mom is like, That kid is not going to feel heard or feel that their emotions are shared. But when the mom goes, wow, you worked really hard on that, didn't you? Then they feel seen and loved and stuff. So when a child is not mirrored, he may give up trying to achieve his goals, or if he becomes a high achiever, his accomplishments may give him little pleasure, she writes. So on course, as children grow, other relationships become important too. School teachers can increase a children's sense of self-worth by treating them with respect and warmth, avoiding harsh disciplinary tactics, and engaging them in learning, says Reese. They can also directly teach empathy through literature, simulations, and other techniques. I love this because I'm a teacher, so this applies to me. There's actually a school that they have kids pretend for 40 minutes straight. This is your role. What are you doing? They make a game plan so that when they get bored and when they get tired of being that role, they still stay in that role because of their commitment. And so it's a strategy that helps them build empathy and sees their part in the bigger world. Kind of like It's a Wonderful Life. Reese describes other instances where empathy is crucial. For example, when we encounter people who are different from us, when we ourselves have made a mistake and need self-empathy in our workplaces and even within government, she explains the potential downsides of empathy too. Like when perspective taking is used to get inside people's heads and manipulate them rather than showing they care. Still, the importance of empathy in everyday life cannot be oversold. By understanding how it works and can be augmented in ourselves and our children, we have one of the key tools to cultural transformation, Reese believes. She writes, we have hope to help shape a more civil society, respectful discourse, understanding of others, and a humane world. All by showing people some love and empathy. So oftentimes I think when you might have heard that, what the world needs now is love, sweet love. I think they mean empathy, that they need people who respond in kindness because they understand what it's like and that they've been there. So this is a lot to digest. Today, I just want you reading it. Maybe go back and reread it. If you want to try to take a stab at working through this, this is just helping you digest and process what we've read. So like, what is emotional resonance? So what this does is it asks you like recall and define, and then it asks you to apply some stuff and asks you to make decisions like, or explain why would doctors or EMTs like push away emotional resonance? Why is it stronger? What impacts does that have? And then some application. How can this benefit everybody? Which one do you think, now you're deciding, which one do you think is the most important? And then why? I'm asking you to do a little bit of context clue. So we have this word propensity. Where in the sentence does it help you, or does it show you clues as to what that word might mean? And then some more evaluation. So do you think the world could use more empathy? You might say no, because you see it on a daily basis. And if you see it, like, give an example why. So in your opinion, you are a wealth of knowledge when it comes to school stuff. So how can teachers continue to use empathy to encourage students? And I'm going to have a CER response, but I'm not going to open that up for you to write just yet. I'm going to save that for Friday when we talk. So what we're doing Friday is we're walking through this. There may be another just thing I want to highlight in here, but this is our text, and that's our lesson for today, is really going through this. So what do you need to know as far as like moving on? You need to check in on Wednesday, because I'm going to post the link for you to vote for songs that you would like. For those of you who are here, I'll give you the link right now so you can think about it. I know I've got a lot of Google Forms. So think about some song requests that you would like. I will try to work on them and play them. If it's a song that I just legitimately can't play, I'll just say I'm sorry, I tried. Other things that you need to know, you're checking in Wednesday, tomorrow. Friday is an early release, so that doesn't really change us. But your fifth period will meet a little bit earlier on Friday, just so you know. Okay. And if your teachers haven't brought this up, make sure that they're bringing this up. You might want to take a picture of this slide. And that's what I have for you. So go just be awesome people and show empathy and love to your friends and your family. It is not easy with your family because we've been with them for a very long time now. But let's try. Let's see.